A bear leaves tracks. A wolf leaves blood. But the killer that followed frontier men into winter camps left almost nothing at all. It had no claws, no growl, no shadow beyond the firelight. It was already inside the cabin, hanging from a hook, resting in a wooden barrel, sizzling in a black iron pan. The meat was salted, smoked, browned until the edges cracked. It looked preserved. It smelled perfect. And deep inside it, something was still alive. That is the contradiction. The barrel had worked, the salt had worked, the smoke had worked, the meat survived the winter. But so did the thing hiding inside it. Men trusted one simple rule. Salty, smoky and brown means safe. Sometimes that belief ended in fever, agony and death. Welcome to Forgotten Materials, where ordinary substances reveal extraordinary consequences. Today, we are not examining a survival method that failed. We are examining one that worked so well, people trusted it to do something it could never do. On the frontier, preserving meat was the difference between eating in February and starving before spring. Fresh pork spoiled quickly. Salt pork lasted. A smoked ham could hang for weeks. A barrel could turn one hog into months of food. So families learned, if it does not rot, it is safe, logical, and dangerously incomplete. Because spoilage and infection are different. Rot announces itself. It changes the smell, color, and texture. But some dangers do not spoil meat. They wait inside it, invisible, odorless, untouched by every sign people had learned to trust. The hidden animal was Trichinella, a parasitic worm so small no frontier cook could see it. Its larvae could hide inside pigs, wild boar, bears, and other animals. A man could inspect the cut, smell it, salt it, smoke it, brown it over the fire, and still swallow the parasite alive. Inside the body, the larvae were released. They matured in the intestine. Then their offspring entered the bloodstream and travelled into muscle. At first, it could feel like food poisoning, stomach pain, nausea, diarrhea. Then came fever, swollen eyes, weakness, and deep muscle pain. Imagine that in a remote logging camp. Your arms hurt, so you blame the axe. Your legs burn, so you blame the cold. Your face swells, and someone calls it camp fever. No microscope, no laboratory, no doctor nearby. Men lie down exhausted while the parasite reaches muscles used to walk, swallow, breathe, and sometimes even the heart. This is why the myth survived. Salt really does pull moisture from meat and slow many microbes. Smoke dries and protects the surface. Cold slows decay. But slowing decay is not the same as killing every parasite. The meat could remain edible for weeks, and the larvae could remain alive inside it. A piece of pork could be old, yet preserved. Smoked, yet infected. Brown outside, yet dangerously undercooked near the centre. Frontier cooks judge safety with their eyes, nose, and hands. Trichinella existed beyond all three. Scientists began understanding the worm during the 19th century. But knowledge did not travel as quickly as habit. A discovery in a laboratory did not instantly reach a hunter in the mountains or a lumber crew in the forest. Tradition arrived first. My father ate it this way. My grandfather cured it this way. We have never had a problem. That final sentence may be the most dangerous rule of all. Because luck can imitate proof. One animal is not infected, then another is not infected. Nothing happens for years. The method becomes tradition, tradition becomes certainty. Then one infected carcass enters the barrel. The meat looks exactly the same, but this time the old rule fails. Did this literally kill more frontier men than bears? No complete frontier register can prove it, but bears left bodies, tracks and stories. Trichinosis left confusion. Mild cases disappeared without a name. Severe cases resembled influenza, pneumonia or exhaustion. A bear attack became legend. A sick camp became a bad winter. The visible predator entered folklore. The invisible one vanished. America did not defeat it with one heroic invention. The danger fell through ordinary changes: cleaner pig farming, better rodent control, less raw waste fed to hogs, inspection, refrigeration, thermometers, and better cooking guidance. Together they broke the parasite's path from animal to plate. But the danger is not gone. Commercial pork is far safer today. Yet Trichinella still circulates in wildlife, and modern outbreaks are repeatedly connected to undercooked bear, wild boar and other game. The frontier myth survives as homemade jerky, rare wild boar sausage, bear meat browned over a fire, or one familiar sentence: "It was smoked. It will be fine." But smoke is not proof. Salt is not proof. A brown surface is not proof. And freezing is not always proof for parasites found in wild animals. Preserved does not mean cooked. Safety depends on thorough cooking and a reliable internal temperature, not colour, smell, tradition or confidence. The frontier man watched the darkness beyond the flames. He listened for breaking branches. He kept a rifle within reach. He knew a bear might come from the forest, but the greater danger may already have been on his plate: salty, smoky, perfectly browned, and alive where he could not see it. Sometimes the deadliest survival myth is not the one that sounds foolish. It is the one that worked just often enough to become tradition.